Mike is a wonderful person. He's done so much for us, and he started my journey to baptism. And being no stranger to confrontation, I had no trouble arguing with him. And sometimes I really frustrated him. And there were times we thought about chunking the whole idea and just stopping the Bible study. Well, many of you all have certain scriptures that when you've read it or it's explained to it, the light bulb goes off. And that becomes the meaning of Christ to you. The same thing happened to me. God expects very little out of you if you don't know very much about Him and everything and haven't studied Him. But the more that you study about Him and everything, the more He expects out of you. Well, that set off my light bulb because I'd realized that for the past 62 years, I had been down in that no little section, and God really didn't expect much out of me. But now that I was studying the Bible and learning about Him and everything, I said, uh-oh, He's expecting a whole lot more out of me. And one of those things is He expects me to get baptized by immersion. So the next time the Bible study group met, I said, guys, before we start, I got something to say. Well, I could see this look on their face of, uh-oh, where's he going now? Well, I told them, guys, I want to be baptized. Dead silence, blank stare on their face. And then out of the corner, like Brown said, I've been waiting for over 8 years for you to say that. Well, about 12 days before I was to be baptized, Mike and my wife took me to a doctor's appointment, routine situation. Well, we got there, they parked in the parking lot. They went to get me out of the van, and I was non-responsive. Donna slapped me, pinched my arm. She even twisted my nipples. No response. She said, Mike, we got to get him to the ER. Well, 4 hours later, I woke up and started talking. And the nurses were yelling, he's awake, he's awake. And he's talking. Nobody could understand why or anything. And the only thing we could think of was God was not going to let me not be baptized. We had everything set up for it to occur at 1 o'clock after church services. Well, my son-in-law and caregiver had put me in this wheelchair, wheeled me out, put me on the elevator that would lower me down to get in the van. Son-in-law pushed the button. Nothing happened. Checked out some things, pushed it again. Nothing happened. We put in the call to the church, said, we got a problem. Mike let the people know there'd be a slight delay. He pointed out 6 big guys and said, we got to go. We got a problem at Scott's house. Well, while we were waiting, I was talking to my son-in-law and all, and I said, you know what? I think it was Satan that made that elevator malfunction. It was his last chance to keep me from being baptized. Well, the cavalry showed up. They asked me if I wanted to delay the baptism. I said, no way. So they just picked up this wheelchair with me in it, carried it down the steps, put me in the van, and off we went. the guys picked me up out of this chair, laid me on a blackboard that they were going to use. Well, as they were transferring me, the first thought I had was of the movie scene of the fallen warrior being placed on his shield to put on the funeral pile so that his spirit would be cleansed by fire. And then I said, no. In my case, what they're doing is they're putting this broken, sin-racked body to the board to raise me up, and I'll be slid into the water to be purified and released of sin. Well, there must have been a spotlight directly over the baptismal, because when Glenn and Mike immersed me, I opened my eyes and time kind of stood still. I was surrounded by this light, and I had this feeling of shedding a weight, but also being infused with this euphoric feeling of peace and well-being. When I surfaced, the witnesses there said I had the biggest smile on my face they had ever seen. After most of my new brothers and sisters had come down to welcome me into the flock and everything, this mother and daughter approached. Well, the young lady said that she was so moved by the baptism, and the same hand she was afraid that she was going to miss it, because after church she had gone up the hill to a youth meeting, and she was looking at her watch to start. 1 o'clock came and went. It was 10 after 1 when she was able to get out. She power walked down to the church, came in, and was relieved to see that the service had not started. Well, this really moved me, that a young person like that wanted to see this sick old man get baptized. And then the thought hit me, and I told her, you know, I don't think it was Satan that made that elevator malfunction. I think it was God. I think he was testing my commitment one more time, but he was also providing the opportunity for you to be there. With that, both our eyes swelled up with tears and everything. And I told her, I didn't mean to make you cry. And then it hit me. And went in my mind, you know, in a very small way, I had seen not only the power of God, but he had revealed the reason why he had done what he had done. So please remember, never underestimate the power of the Lord in your prayers. It's never too late, and never give up when you're trying to bring a person to the Lord and salvation. That's it.